Hi guys, how is everyone doing? I hope everyone is doing okay wherever you're watching me from. How are you doing? So today, uh-huh, I've decided I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable with you guys. And I thank God so much for YouTube. I thank God for social media because now people are able to share their stories and they create awareness about things that have been going on in the society. And today, nataka kuwapea story a very, I don't want to call it interesting because it's not really interesting to me. Uh, it was a story that was very traumatizing to me when it happened. It's about wash wash. Well, so I want to be vulnerable with you guys, and I know this is a very sensitive topic. Every time you're conned, I want to talk about a con that happened to me. I was conned, guys. And this thing about wash wash has been going around, and this kind of story is one of those stories you decide hizi ni zenye siongeangi, hizi nitaongea nikiwa shosho, you know, when I'm very old, nikiwa na walking stick. That's when you want to talk about these kind of stories. Yeah. So I had kept this story to myself, and I didn't want to share about it. I didn't want to talk about it because anyone who's been conned, you know, the disappointment, the heartbreak, the sadness, and the shame that comes with it. And you feel like you're doubting yourself. You feel like you cannot trust your judgment, all those kind of things. And when I was conned, that's what happened to me. And people don't really like to share about these stories, but I've been listening to people talk about their stories of how they were conned, and they just try to create awareness. So the reason why I want to share this story is because I want to create awareness. Maybe there is someone out there who, if they hear this story, they might escape being conned. They might escape losing money, or you know, some people lose money and they just sink into depression. So who knows? I might save someone from depression tonight. So this is what happened. I this was back in Kenya when I was living in Kenya, because I've been here like almost since 2017. Now is almost 7 years now. I think it's gonna be 7 years in February next year. Sasa venye I was in Kenya, and this happened in Kenya, so this mostly is applying to Kenyans because this thing of wash wash and con, I'm telling you, it is rampant in Kenya. It is happening everywhere. And this did not even happen in Nairobi. I was not conned in Nairobi. Na kwanza, I've been conned twice, but I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you this first one. This was the big one. And then in another video, I'll come back and give you the small one. That wasn't so big. So this one is the big one. And both has happened to me in Nakuru. So I hear people talk of Nairobi. So when we were going to Nairobi, my mama used to like, now shike simu vizuri Nairobi, you can be passing and you hear someone snatch the phone, and it's gone, or maybe even wigs. You know, all those kinds of things. So when you go to Nairobi, you're very careful than when you're in other smaller towns. So this happened to me in Nakuru. So there is this guy that I used to know, and we had worked with him somewhere. So, and while I used to work, we had done a few businesses, small businesses together. So it's someone that you would say, no, you could give a little bit of trust, you know. So, so he came up with this idea. He told me, and my uncle is building, anajenga manyumba kule, amejenga magorofa, amepandisha magorofa, and guess what? Sijui ni business gani anafanya. I think anataka kusimama, sijui ni not really MCA, sijui alikuwa anataka kusimama nini, but I think it's MP or something. But aliniambia he was supposed to vie for a seat in Nakuru, of which I don't think it was even true. So, and me, I'm one of those people who sishindaniliangi sana na mambo za watu. I don't really pay attention to, I mean, who cares anyway. So, he told me, na mayanko siku hizi anapandisha magorofa, blah, blah, blah. So he came up with this thing of, there is this guy who's proposing a business. So that friend of mine now, I'm going to give that friend of mine name Maina. So let's say Maina came up with a story. Oh, there's this guy who is proposing business to me. And this business, I cannot even explain to you. You have to come see. But it's big business. And we are going to earn millions. Not even 10 million. 30 million. A lot of millions. It was going into a lot of million. Yeah? And I could imagine what I can do with 30 million. Yeah? Million ni date. Yeah? So, and what I want to tell you guys is that this con, unless you've met them instantly, most of them, they know you, and they meet you and they manage you. It can be a friend. Because this guy, you say, he knew me. So, he had learned about me. He had surveyed me. Amenisoma. Then he came up with this idea. So, and then he knew that time I was building for my mama back home. So he knew I had some money because I had this project. So alikuwa nataka nikon, niache kujengea madhe, nipate depression, maybe nikufe ama I don't know. So these con people can be even someone you know. I'm telling you, it is very hard to trust anyone nowadays because that was someone I used to know. Okay. And then something else, he was targeting the money that I was building with. And then because we had grown to be talking, so he even knew my boyfriend. No, he was my fiance. My fiance was coming back from the US. Now my husband, he was coming back from the US. And I remember him mentioning that, we'll get a lot of money. So I'll tell you where. And he was trying, his target was to con my then fiance or now husband to 2 million Kenyan shillings. So what happened after he told me this guy has, so Maina told me this guy has introduced him to this business and he cannot tell me through the phone, he has to come and show me. So one day on a Friday, when I came out of work and I was, actually my fiance had come and I was trying to go and do my hair. So I was planning to go to the salon. So, but before I went, he came and picked me up with this guy, the business guy now. He came and picked me up and they went and showed me this money and they explained to me, sasa hizi pesa ni pesa, umwaisikia pesa, they are real money but they are not hazijamalizika kutengenezwa. And I was like, what do you mean? So akaniambia, let me show you. Haya, I remember this powder. I don't, the powder was orange to me. I remember it was orange. Sikumbuki if he was mixing with water or it was powder and then he had some water. No, but I remember the paste was like orangish. Anaeka kwa sahani, anaoshaosha pesa. So akioshaosha hiyo pesa and it became real. When it became real, we went and so just so I can see it is real money, we went to the gas station. Na mimi nikaambiwa mimi mwenyewe ndio I'll pay. Here. Na hizo pesa zika acceptiwa. But this money was kind of darkish blue to me. That is how it was. It looked like to me. Okay? So, after nimeona hivyo, sasa mimi, unaona hapa niko na mjengo na sijamaliza kujenga. Hey, nishaona venye that million nitamaliza kujenga hapa mbio mbio. Hey, nitaanza business huko China, sijui nianze kujenga magorofa. You start thinking of what you're gonna do with all this money. But then I asked them, but where do you get this money, and is it legit, blah blah blah? How is this happening? So my friend told me this money, it's coming from the campaigners. And you remember alikuwa amenimentionia things about his uncle wanting to be part of the government, to vie for a seat in Nakuru. So right now later is when I came to discover that he was actually managing me. All the while, he was trying to mess around with my mind so I don't ask questions, a lot of questions when it gets there. Sasa mimi, I was told that this money is actually from the central government, but the politicians are given this money before they are completely done, ndio sisiekwe kwa the flow of the market, so they can do campaign with it. Unaona vile nimemanajiwa. So technically, it's real money, and it's not even illegal. It's only that it's not going through the central bank. They are given that money so that they can campaign. But so one of the campaigners have been able to give this money to their uncle. See? Haya. So mimi nakujua hizi mambo sijui za politics, mimi najulia wapi. I've just had hizi ni pesa zinatoka central bank. Mimi nimejulia wapi the process of making money. How? And then zinaka real money. Osha nikaona ni real money. Hey. And then akaosha ingine akanipatia. So nikaona hizi pesa ni real. Yeah? Me, and I was hooked. So to me it wasn't that bad. So they said that what I would do to get this money, we needed, I think it was about 500,000 or something, but we needed a lot of money ndio tuweze to buy this, no, to pay. There was a guy called Patel in a certain company, in a certain factory in Nakuru. So uko ndio that money was supposed to go and twende watutengeneza hizi pesa. So that guy is the one we had to pay, this Patel guy, so he can go and fix that money. Sasa sisi tupate pesa yetu. Okay. Haya. So I told them, and we were to do this thing fast. And then let me tell you something I forgot to tell you. This guy who came with my friend Maina, who had an accent of Kisii. Okay? I don't know whether he was a Kisii or it's just an accent alikuwa amejiwekelea. So I don't know because I don't even remember his name up to date. Yeah? But he was a little bit older guy with a kautambi. So you could see ni mzee anaweza peka heshima. You can't even tell. He can call someone. Hey. Haya. So I remember I told them I want to hear more about that story. So what happened, mimi na kimbelembele yangu, when I had that business, you know how the devil starts whispering to you, this is an opportunity, hey, this is, it's a blessing. God is about to do a miracle in your life. You even start thinking of, hey, God, you don't even want to tell someone because this is big business, Okay? But then at the back of your mind, you remember this money has been at zimetolewa, the back door, so you don't want to tell anyone. Haya. So that day, actually, that day, I told my then fiance to drive me all the way to Nakuru because I didn't used to live in Nakuru. So we drove all the way to Nakuru and we went so we can do this biashara. And they went and cleaned more money. Okay? So after they cleaned more money, a little bit, I think they cleaned like 3. Izo tukaenda, but then you see, they had told me nobody else can be involved. So I couldn't even take my fiance. See? So my fiance was somewhere waiting. Haya. But tukaenda kutafuta huyo Patel. The Patel hakupatikana. But these guys were like, nitamkia mapema, so just give me some money. So this friend of mine was to give out some money, and me, I give out some money. So I remember the first day, I gave out like 150K. So but this Patel guy hakupatikana. So the following day, the Kisii guy was like, he was like, see, we didn't get the Patel. Na saa hizo anaongea na Patel, nasikia you know the way the way Indians are, because he was Indian. Paka anaongea anasema, yes madam, blah blah blah, we cannot do this like now. You know that accent you can hear is a real Indian, I'm telling you. And I was told they work in a certain factory that this guy would not take us. So there was a time we were supposed to go meet that Patel guy, but then anatupeleka round, anasema, oh, this Patel guy is not picking up the call, blah blah blah. Okay, so and then my friend, sometimes he would be like, so sometimes hana pesa, sometimes so na mimi I'm like, nishapeana 150. So after the first day we didn't get the money, the following day this guy is like, mimi sina pesa sahi, we have to wait. No, nishapeana 150. So what will I do? I'll be like, wacha nikulipie, tukipata pesa, you know, you'll give me, tunapata 30 million anyway, so unaona. So I pay for him. I pay for him ndio nisipoteze hizo 150. This is where you're told you lose urate inyanya ukinyirite inya. So I pay for him. So these guys, I can't really remember the whole thing, but I remember they used to take us round and round, but and all the time there was something after another. This Patel guy, or the money is not enough, you know. But trust you me, there was this one time when I'm telling you, we went and washed a little bit of the money. So they were like, madam, the Kisii guy was like, madam, itakuwa mingi, tutaosha, hata kama hatutaosha yote, itakuwa mingi kabisa. Guys, let me tell you what happened. Yeah? I even prayed. Guess what I did? No wonder kunaambiangwa hata mwizi akienda kuiba anaombanga. I told them, let's hold hands, because this money has been, this liquid has been a long time coming, you know. So we've waited for this liquid, and he's gotten a little bit of it, which we can wash a little bit. So nilikuwa naona at least I'll get my money back. So we wash a little bit, nipate pesa zangu at least. So what I did, tukashikana mikono, I told them, let's hold hands. I even prayed. I'm telling you guys, I prayed. I told God, please. Aki comment, watu wa wash. Mungu anawaona, I'm telling you. Mpaka I prayed. Yeah? And where we were washing, I remember this friend of mine, this Maina, had said they were having issues with their wife, blah blah blah. So tukiulizana where we can do this, because kuna time sasa when the Patel said he cannot, he's not able to wash, I guess we didn't have enough money. This guy alikuwa anasema lakini nimeenda akanipatia kidogo. Madam, nimepata kidogo. So I'm not able to, you know, these are the kind of story you even want to forget. You don't even want to remember what happened. So hey, sasa so when we were washing after we prayed, I was here where I'm telling you this guy had told me they were having issues with their wife. So when we were like, where are we gonna do, should we get a room, no, blah blah blah, so he said no. So this story actually happened around Nakuru Kitty area, you know, that Kitty apple, around your area. Haya, so he was like, ati we're having issues with my wife, so amepotea, so let's go and do it in my house. And actually unaona huku kulikuwa na mtu. Haya, so that's where I was praying, guys. After ameosha kidogo, hata hakuosha mingi, I don't know what happened to the liquid. Sijui what happened, sijui limwagika ama what. Wash ikaisha hivyo. So akaanza kusema, oh God, anaanza. So mimi nikianza kuongea hapa nikisema ati now what are we gonna do, nikianza atasema, hey madam, anaanza, he starts getting mad and asking me, you know, the way, and becoming defensive, all defensive, telling me, and that's not what you can do madam, unajua ukianza kudoubt TV maneno ni mingi, you know. Haya, so mimi I'm like, So I don't know whether, so those are kind of the things that happened. Na mimi juu ya kufikia my money that had already gone, I kept thinking maybe let me give a little bit of the money. I remember even one time nilienda nikamtolea pesa this Maina. I went to my bank I used to bank with National Bank. Nikamtolea pesa kwa ATM ili aongeze so they can go and get the liquid. You know, ndio wakuje ndio zitoshe so I was just trying to reach this money. So finally, after these scenarios, after all these kinds of stuff happened, and then he reminded me about, so venye nilianza kusema I don't have money, blah, 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 what are we gonna do so I can get my money back, blah, blah, blah. And alianza kuniambia, see, your guy can even get money, blah, blah, blah. But then my husband is not the kind who gives money like that. So no. He wasn't he was like, no, this is wrong. He actually told me, no, nyinyi, this is not right, blah blah blah, this is nyinyi mnaizata shikwa, blah blah blah. So then I remembered there was another friend of mine in Nairobi. This guy used to be very street smart. I don't know why I thought about him, but all through campus this guy was, when I went to Nairobi, this guy was very street smart. You could see him doing things and you can tell he's very street smart. So I called him and I told because now I was getting devastated. It had started to dawn on me, but I didn't want to accept. So actually, when I was going to him, I just wanted to confirm before I give more money. I wanted to confirm whether this might be a real con. I didn't want to accept that I've been conned. I didn't. Then I didn't even know anything called wash. I didn't know. But I was thinking of, I've been conned. So I didn't want to accept. So I decided, let me drive to Nairobi. He used to live in Donholm. And when I was driven there, I called him and I went and asked him. No, actually, I gave him the story. He told me, give me the story. When I gave him the story, he told me, get out. He told me, get out. Did someone send you? I'm like, what are you talking about? He told me, I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, did someone send you so you can come and manage me? So he thought somebody, maybe I've sent him to, somebody has sent me to go and con him or go trick him so he can spill his secrets. So apparently, this is what this guy used to do. So he told me, Ann, hizo siku zote umenijua. Yani, you haven't known I do these kinds of business. He told me you've been conned. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. So he told me, give me a second. He called a Nigerian guy, friend of himself. This guy is a Kikuyu, the friend of mine in Nairobi now. So he told me, let me call my friend. Blah, 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 so and so. Do you have a black koba? He said black koba. Hey, me, I don't even know. So I'm like, so I don't know whether he was supposed to go get it, blah, blah, blah. And he explained to me how that money looks like. So I knew. I've been conned. So when he told me that, he told me, there is something you can do if you want to know you've been conned. Call that guy and tell him to send you, like, even not a lot, just like 60K, because I had lost, by the end of the con, I had lost slightly between 300 and 400. It's a story I actually don't like to remember. I don't even like, you know, the stories you just want to shut that story, or you don't want to remember about it. You know? Oh my God. Yani ukikumbuka mpaka the way you prayed. I literally prayed. Ndio pesa zi multiply. Hey. Wait. So the details, some of the details I can't even remember, but I know by the end of that con, I had lost between 300 and 400,000 shillings. Yeah. So, hey, wait, these are the kind of stories you want to shut. I had said this story, I'm not, Gamia Yokoro, this one I had said. But then I've been seeing people people talk about these kind of stories, and it's good we talk about these things. Unasikia, I had someone else at these wash guys, they tell you this money is coming from the States, or it's being printed, I don't know from where, dollars. No, but these were not dollars. These were Kenya. This was Kenyan money. This was Kenyan money. Yeah. So after I was told, I called this guy, I tried to ask him for like 60,000, a little bit of the money back. He never. So I told this, I was like telling this friend of mine, can you try con him? Now that you're a con, can you con him and see whether you can get him? So my guy was, this guy from Nairobi was like, no, this cannot, I mean, I don't think he can. He's a con. It cannot happen. I mean, he knows the tricks. So that is how I knew I was conned. So this guy, we never talked about it anymore. When I knew he had conned me, I started getting devastated. I got so bitter, you know, because that is when I knew, because all through he was pretending we are doing business together. So like, to him, he was also saying to himself, he's been conned. So every time I would ask him, he would be like, even him, he's been conned. This guy has not called, blah, blah, blah. And shame on this Kisii guy, when they realized I have noticed what was going on, because they still wanted to reach and get more money, because they knew my fiance was in Kenya, and they thought my fiance had a lot of money. So they still wanted to come and get more. So shame on this Kisii guy, he was still calling me and telling me, ati alisema, sijui Patel, alisema, blah, blah, blah. And because I knew what was happening, thank God, God opened my eyes. I would say God opened my eyes, because trust you me, maybe I would have even in the end and use a plotting so I can give the money. Ndio nipate 30 million, you know. Or maybe I would have pushed my fiance to at least give me money. Because, excuse me, because I actually remember in the process, I had asked him for, like, still in the process, oh, you have 7,000, because tumeenda, we've given some money, it's not enough, and maybe I cannot withdraw more from the bank, nampatia. You know, oh my goodness. So I was so devastated. So all this while, we stayed with my fiance, but I didn't want to process it. So after my fiance was back in the States, it was really a sad moment, but my fiance was trying to encourage me and tell me, actually, it's just God's plan. At least you've known before you lost too much. Well, it's a lot of money, but it could have been worse. It could have been worse. And to imagine, this is money I'm supposed to be building for my mama, so I'm gonna have to pause my mjengo a little bit. So why am I giving this story? Because these things really happen. Con is everywhere. Imagine telling me that this money is from the central bank, at zimepewa politicians, but they are going through the back door, you know, and you cannot even go tell the police, because how can you even go and you knew this is not legit business, you know? It is not. The fact that it's not going through why are they not doing campaign with their own real money, you know? So you cannot. They con you in such a way that you cannot even do anything. You cannot even report them. And besides, I had not sent, they did not want to accept, they were actually not accepting me to send any money. This guy was not accepting any money, the Kisii guy. So even if I sent this minor friend of mine, I mean, he would be like, he's a friend. But this Kisii guy, he always wanted cash. Okay? So even there is nothing like you have no evidence. And I remember this guy, before we started the thing, he was like, these guys, so this guy, we are just, these are politicians. So they're threatening you with this thing of, they're politicians, you cannot tell anyone. You see, they're politicians. Sasa, ni kama venye people do bad things to kids, and they're like, if you tell someone, I'm gonna kill you. You know, so this guy was like, hey, and these guys, they're big guys. So they're just helping us. So if you try and say anything, so, you know, Hey, I'm telling you, these cons happen in Kenya. They happen, and I would say there's no money that comes quick. You have to work for the money, and that is why people don't share don't share these stories, because it's shameful. It's very shameful. But then someone else might hear this story somewhere out there and be aware, because I was still young, and they're targeting these young people who don't have exposure, you know, who are trying to pick themselves up. Who could I even tell? Except for my fiance, who was trying to tell me, and at the same time I'm telling him, no, this is real. I don't want to accept that I've been conned, you know. So that is my story. That is how I was conned around 300, between 300 and 400. I don't know whether it was almost 400 or 300, but their target was to con me that at 2 million more. Yeah, but I thank God. Well, later God blessed me, and here I am. So it was, I forgot something about after my fiance left. After my fiance left, I was going to the mirror. Mimi nalia. I used to cry. Naenda kwa kioo hivi najiangalia. I had a big kioo. Naenda nakaa kwa bed. I sit there and look at myself. I pinch myself. I'm like, because I was just trying to be strong, so that my feet, you know, even the shame, you're just trying to show. I was like, no, I think it's gonna come back. You don't want to accept the reality. And then my fiance has come all the way. You don't want to be like, you know, you just want to have a good time. So when he left, that's when you don't have company enough. It's just you sitting there. And I would look at myself and I'm like, Anne, how stupid can you be? With your degree and your CPAs. Actually, I have my bachelor's in accounting. I have done accounting. I have done all CPAs, so I would have calculated all these things. But with all that, it's not about being smart. It's not about anything. Anyone can be conned. Cons don't know any education. They don't know the status. They don't know anything. Con can con anyone. I'm telling you. Yeah. So I cried. I got devastated. I prayed. I cried. And I remember, because I didn't have anyone to talk to, I just cried so much. And I told God, Mimi, I've just left them to you, because there's nothing I can do. Niliambia to God, Lord, just remember them. I give them to you. I just gave him to God, and I let it go. Na hivyo ndio iliisha. Mpaka I shut it off in my mind. But when I'm giving this story, you can notice there are some details I'm not even remembering. But all I know is that I was washed for real, and I've come into contact. I've seen that money in reality. I've seen it, because they had a lot of money in a bag. I have seen it. And I've seen them wash it in real, wash it. Naoshewa, naonyeshwa hiyo. I was conned, I'm telling you. So this wash business is real. I was washed. You feel so stupid when you think about it. Hey, you feel so stupid, I'm telling you. That's why people don't like to share these kind of stories. But well, it can happen to any of us. It's not about, some people might say you just want to get rich quick. Yeah, I know, but when you're doing it, sometimes you think like, maybe this is an opportunity. Even the devil whispers to you. It's God trying to do a miracle. You know, people even con people out of telling them about miracles and all kinds of things. Yeah. So, wait, that's how I was conned, I'm telling you. So that is it. So if anyone hears this story and it helps them, so be it. But I had to share these out there. So right now, I don't even care about when you realize you are conned. God blessed you in multiple. Everything is a learning process. I like to take everything that happens in life as a learning. So it's a learning. So maybe if I wasn't conned that around 300, 400,000, who knows? Maybe I would have been conned like like millions. Who knows? So maybe God was trying to teach me something. Yeah, everything is a learning moment. That's what I like to take everything as. Sasa hivyo ndio washiwashiwa. So something else I forgot to mention, this friend of mine that saved me from the corn, he actually died last year. I heard he passed on. So may his soul rest in peace. So even though, I mean, these kinds of business, even this friend of mine, so I don't know, I believe he was in it, or whoever that guy he brought to me who conned me. I mean, these things, this kind of money that comes in illegitimately, it does not last. You don't even do anything with the money, because this friend of mine who saved me, he used to be like, when he told me those are the kind of businesses he do, and I mean, I had never seen him like move from one point to the other. So even though this easy come money, it's very easy go. You never even do anything with that money. Yeah, so and who knows, maybe if he told me that's the kind of businesses he used to do. So who knows, maybe it's those people he conned and they cried those tears, who knows. So you can never know about these things. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Yeah, so it's good to just work with your hands. Yeah, fold your sleeves and work. That is where money comes from. If you want to be rich, you have to work hard. That is the only way. Yeah. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and please like and comment, and please, even as you comment, mimi si unaona nisha washwashiwa, so please be kind. Be very kind to me. Please. So only kind words. Yeah, be very sensitive. It's good to be sensitive. Don't be as cruel as those people who are washing people out there, because that means they're insensitive to people, you know. So be kind and be sensitive. Keep your comment respectful as you comment. And also you can share, and if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. At least that's the only way you can be able to help me, and at least I can recover some of that money nikianza kulipwa na YouTube, and God is going to bless you. So until my next video, bye bye.